everybody and welcome to my video, Getting Tidier. I hope you're all well and I hope you've had a lovely weekend. As I record this, it's Monday and the video starts with a number of things that I'll be doing in today's video, ranging from cleaning the carpet on the stairs, tidying up the whole area by the front door and the hallway, also the landing, maintaining the kitchen, and also cleaning my rug with my new Vax Hoover. Now, if you're interested in that, look out for my review of the Vax Hoover. I'm finishing it off at the moment, recording the voiceover, and my main problem is I cannot find my microphone, which is causing me some problems. But hopefully you'll find that interesting, and I will be giving my truthful opinion of the Vax Hoover. So if you've already got one, I'm interested in hearing your thoughts about my review. Am I using it in the right way? Am I using it in the best way that I can, etc, etc. So I'm interested. If you're thinking about buying one, then again I'd value your opinion on whether I swayed your view as to whether to buy one or not. So the weekends passed quickly, as it always seems to do. On Saturday we did various different jobs around the house, and then Sunday me and my daughter, or should I say my daughter and I, attended Banham Zoo for the Girl Guide takeover, and it was absolutely manic. There was supposed to be 2,000 girls and women from girl guiding, and instead there was 4,000. For some strange reason they opened it up for Norfolk and Suffolk, where really they could have probably done two separate days because there were too many people there. Lots of queues, but overall we had a nice time, saw lots of different animals, looked in the gift shop, which is always a priority when you're a girl guide. You've got a little bit of your own money to spend. But we saw like red pandas, we saw different types of monkeys, and it was a really nice day out. We didn't really sit down for long, so I'm slightly exhausted. And then Monday begins the normal week. Today I dropped my daughter off at school and then I went straight to the gym. I was very annoyed at myself because I forgot my towels. Do you know, every single time I go to the gym I forget something. And then I have this idea that I'm going to pack my bag in advance to be like super organised. Sometimes I do that, sometimes I don't, but I always forget something. So for example, it might be new underwear. After I've got out of the shower, I don't want to put all the same clothes on that I've been wearing. Socks, for example, you don't want to put the same pair of socks on. It could be I have forgotten a t-shirt before. It could be that I forget my shampoo. You remember that week that I got absolutely everything, but then went to the school run in my kind of like fly shoes or Doc Martens? I forget what I've got now. But shoes that you cannot go into the gym with, cannot go onto a treadmill with. And we were talking about primary issues and secondary issues on the way to school, my daughter and I. A primary issue is that you don't take the right shoes. That means that you cannot go to the gym. I said a primary issue could also be that you leave the towels behind. But instead of using it as an excuse not to go to the gym, I decided that I'd have my shower at home. So I did about 50 minutes in the gym today. Did I tell you how I did my whole profile? So there's special scales in the gym that they don't just tell you your weight, they tell you like your muscle mass in both arms, all that sort of thing, and your cardio age. And incredibly, well, not really incredibly, disappointingly is the better adjective, I've gone back to what I was in May when I started going. And I think it's a combination. I had 3 weeks off, didn't I, in the summer. Obviously, I was walking lots, but not doing any sort of exercises to build muscle. And then the last 2 weeks, I've not been. So in the course of the last sort of few months, I suppose I've not really gone that much. So what can you expect? My husband, forever the positive person, said to me, yes, that might have gone back to May, but that'll be much quicker for you to get back to how you were. I often think my husband does have the knack of saying the right thing at the right time. You know, some people don't have that knack. He said, don't worry, you'll soon get back to how you were in May. So I was like, great, okay, thank you. So we went together, as you know, on Friday, and I went today by myself. So you can see in the video, I'm deciding to get on top of the hall. So that will mean that I'm on top of the kitchen. I'm on top of the dining room. The lounge is significantly better. I just have the Lego project ongoing, but that's all stacked to one side, and I've washed all the rug, which you'll see on my other video. I show you briefly in today's video, but you'll see on my Vax video. And then I wanted to get the hall. That will then be, I might get to a point, whoa, drum roll, I might get to the point where the downstairs will actually be at maintain stage. And by maintain stage, I mean keeping on top of it and then digging a bit deeper. And by that I mean, now I'm on top of the kitchen, I can then spend some time cleaning the fronts of the cupboards. Or I can go through another cupboard, take everything out and see what I can put in the bin. So it's that next level of doing more. That's how I feel. So I spent quite a long time doing all the haul, and then I clean the rug. Now I decided to also sort out the little table, which, as many of you know, becomes it's a flat surface. Of course, I need to cover it. We all of us put things on there. Me and my husband in the main, not really my daughter. And I really felt like I'd done this really recently. It's very tempting in this situation to look back through my videos. Reason why is there was things on there from months and months and months ago. And obviously if I look back on my videos, I'd see the last time that I sorted it out. I really would like to get to a point where there's just keys, a notebook and a pen, and my change pot, and nothing else. That's what I'd like to get to. So you can see that I'm using the Vax on my old rug, and you'll be able to see how it looks in my other video. And then I'm back in the lounge the day after I'd cleaned the rug. It needed to dry out. This is the only thing, because this rug is old, the water just went straight through, and there's no backing. So there was no way that it could be left like that. So actually my husband picked it up and kind of draped it over the tripod that I use when I'm doing these videos. And then I just went over the following day. So you can see there are still some wet patches, but I just went over it because there were still some bits like Christmas tree, you know, the fir, the plastic fir leaf tree bits. It's very difficult to get them up on my floor. And even though I've hoovered regularly since Christmas, there are still a few bits that are sitting around, obviously attached to I guess they get a bit static, so then they get to the back of the rug and it's quite difficult to get them off. So you can see here in the video, I'm sorting out everything on that little table. So I hoovered the top of it because it's really quite dusty. You can see also I've got my charity shop bags there, so I'm getting them out of the haul today. And then I've just got a hoover in the corner, the other corner. Me and my husband were saying that our hallway is crying out to be decorated. Really, really does need to be decorated. So hopefully we'll do that over the next kind of couple of months. But the number one is still my daughter's room. I still want to sort that out, take the carpet up and fit new flooring. So I'm going to go through a few of your comments that have been added in the last few days on my channel. So kind. Thank you very much for adding comments on my channel. I love reading them. I love reading your suggestions, hearing about your life, what you're up to in the house and garden, and what you're kind of busy spending your time doing. Thank you so much for sharing. So the first message is from Jessica Perlov. Jessica is a fairly new follower, I think. Certainly I've not read that many comments from Jessica before. Jessica says, your kitchen looks so good. I recommend the Minimal Mum for decluttering motivation, Living with Cambria for cleaning motivation, and Dana K. White's techniques are fantastic for quick tidies. You seem to be sorting a lot of things that aren't yours. I could be wrong. No, you are right, Jessica. I do spend quite a lot of time tidying and sorting out everybody's in the house's items. But I don't mind doing that because They are supporting me and helping wherever possible. My daughter is obviously at school and she has hobbies and she has lots of homework. My husband is busy at work, often in London or in Suffolk working, and has got a lot of responsibility. So I don't mind as long as they support me. And my husband does lots of the meals, and he will really do a lot of what I ask him. He doesn't necessarily see things in the way that I do, but if I ask him to focus on something, he will. So, for example, when I was at the zoo yesterday, I said to him, please can you take all the washing out of the washing machine and hang it up, and then can you put the white load on? And he asked what settings to put it on, and he did it and got it done. And he'd not noticed that 2 of our windows, which are wooden, are badly rotting. He just doesn't see the same things that I might see. I just think men and women are different. So I said to him, also, while I'm at the zoo and while my daughter's at the zoo, can you treat the window? Can you put wood filler in it, undercoat it and paint it? And he's done a fantastic job at that. So yes, I do spend time sorting out everybody's things. Jessica also said, Norwich looks beautiful. Norwich really is beautiful, and it recently got the award for the prettiest city in the whole of England. So there's some real hidden gems in Norfolk, some really, really beautiful places. Now, thank you for your suggestions. What I would say is the thing that motivates me most is all of you and all of the comments that you add. And I don't really have that much free time to watch other YouTubers. I'm either working on the house or doing girl guides or helping my daughter with homework or picking her up and taking her wherever she needs to go. So I don't have much time to watch other YouTubers. I do watch some, and certainly I do know who Dana K. White is, because she's the one who talks about the container method, isn't she? Which I think is very good. And Diane in Denmark, I think, is lovely. So thank you for those suggestions. Sandy says, really great job on keeping the kitchen up. On the bits left over, those items that are your daughter's need to go to her room. The sharpener could go with the pencils. You're doing fantastic. Thank you, Sandy. I did think about that with a sharpener, because it was a big sharpener. It wouldn't fit in the pens and pencils container. And I just rationalised everything to get everything to fit in that box. That was the challenge. Then I thought about getting rid of the sharpener, because we have other sharpeners, but apparently this sharpener was a particularly good one. Now, one thing I thought, the day after I spent all this time getting all the pens, pencils and crayons to fit in that one box, I sorted out one of the drawers in the front room. And of course, what is that half full of? Yes, you're right. It's half full of pens, pencils, crayons. So there's more work to be done on that. More work to be done. Rainey Milliman. Hello, Rainey. How are you? Rainey says, I guess I'm very lucky. I'm in my early 70s and have very few strands of silver in my hair. My hair used to be dishwater blonde, but over the dishwater blonde. I've never heard that description. But over the years it has darkened and I suppose would be considered a medium to dark brown. I have no reason to colour my hair and grateful to not have the expense. One of the reasons I keep my hair long is because I cannot be responsible to return to a hairdresser regularly to keep it trimmed properly. My husband cuts off several inches when I can't bear it any longer, and I trim it myself in between. The pencil sharpener can be put with the coloured pencils. The smaller items could be gathered in a plastic bag and sold or donated. Some children and even adults can't resist a bag of miscellaneous bits. Of course, you know I would just throw them out if I had no reason to look for them, and they don't deserve displaying, but that's me. Hope you have a good week ahead and keep up the good work. The kitchen is looking fabulous. As always, thank you very much for your message, Rainey. I think it's interesting you cutting your hair. Is it really, really long then? Is it like all the way down your back? It's quite incredible that you've hardly got any grey. Isn't it interesting how everybody's different? Some people go grey like in their 30s and other people don't go grey until they're in their 70s. Melissa Cross says, hi Emma. Dana K. White's second decluttering question is, if I needed this item, would it ever occur to me that I already owned it? If I needed this item, would it ever occur to me that I already owned it? This could be the answer for some of the things that don't have an obvious home and that you wouldn't think to look for. Time to let them go. The kitchen looks amazing and I'm sure the other rooms will get there too. Cheers, Mel from Tasmania. It's going to take a long time to get there, Mel, but I'm in it for the long term. Wendy Jones says, I thought, what about clearing the space to the right of your kitchen sink entirely to create a space for washing up waiting to be done? Yeah, Wendy, that is a good point. Now, if you go back on my videos, you will see the right-hand corner looked quite different. And due to a number of different suggestions from subscribers, I moved things around. So the container in the corner is the bread bin. And for ease, that really does need to stay. I don't really want to put bread in a bin in a cupboard. And then the other container are all the utensils. And again, it's really, really useful having the utensils just to grab next to the oven. So I don't know if I could clear it any further really. And the bread bin, I'm just thinking, like, where would I put it if I was going to put it in the cupboard? That's the only thing. Kathleen Quinn says, great job, Emma, on keeping your kitchen tidy. Keep up the good work. Faith says, great job in the dining room. And Dulcie Rose says, hi Emma, I'm impressed with your kitchen and washing pile. Thank you, Dulcie. Karen Howard says, if you wouldn't look for them, why are you keeping them? With 2 smiley faces. Oh, Karen, you know me. Half my house has got things that I would never look for. I don't know, for example, I'm sitting in the lounge as I record this, and I've got a nice little lantern hanging from one of my macrame plant hangers. Now, if I chose not to have that little lantern there, and I put it away, if someone said, well, where would you look for a small coloured lantern? Well, I wouldn't ever look for a small coloured lantern, would I? That's what I don't completely understand with this whole system. Think about where you would look for it. Or like my little glass milk bottles, if I put them away and then I couldn't find them, this is why I have a problem with my safe spaces. So if I put those little milk bottles away and then someone said, well, where would you look for them? I wouldn't ever look for them. Once they're back at the back of the cupboard, I would never ever get them out of the back of the cupboard again. Now at this point, I know many of you are shouting at the television or screen, tablet, mobile phone, saying, well, get rid of them. Yes, I could get rid of more. And I am getting rid of more. So some of you will remember we had some work done on our front door by a builder. He did a fantastic job. But there was some sort of dust on the mat. So I decided to pull the mat right out and hoover all along the edge. And then my hoover ran out, so I didn't manage to do into the corner. But I managed to do quite a lot. Pulled it right back. I do like this little handheld hoover. I have got a full-size hoover, but this one is just really handy. And I've had it for quite a while, but it's still really powerful as well. I really like using it. I know some people say, oh, you shouldn't be crawling about on the floor. Why are you doing that? But my full-size Dyson Hoover would not be able to go right to the little gap where the door meets the wooden floor. That's part of the problem. So I spend some time doing that. And again, I did think to myself, well, it felt like not long ago I did this. And then I thought, do some people do this weekly? I do not do that weekly. Maybe I should. Next comment is actually written, I think, in Portuguese or maybe Spanish. So thank you very much for your comments. Christiana Souza. That says, hi Emma. I think it's extremely important that you ask your daughter what she can get rid of, donate or throw away. I do this with my daughter. Sometimes we give importance to an object they don't want, and you reverse it. Keep up the excellent work. And I'm happy that you're becoming more aware of hoarding every day, each thing in its own time. Thank you very much, Christiana. I do think it's very important. So I check with my daughter if I'm going to get rid of things, but I also check with her if I'm going to keep things. And I did say to her when we were sorting out birthday cards, when you're a lady and you leave home, do you want every single school book you've ever had and every single birthday card you've ever had? And of course, she said, no, I don't. And she went through some things and got rid of some things. The other thing that I've noticed is I'll say, do you want to keep this? And she'll say yes. And I'll say, okay, do you want to find a space for it in your bedroom? No, I don't want that in my bedroom. Okay, well, we're not going to have it in the lounge, so where do you want to put it? And she says, I'll get rid of it then. So sometimes that's quite a good little check. She doesn't want things cluttering up her bedroom, but the home for, toys and games and various of her books is not in the dining room. Deja Guinage says, hello, beautiful Emma. I love the way you do clutter. You are doing a fantastic job. Stacey from Virginia. And Stacey sent me lots of autumn leaves and lots of different flowers and plants. That's nice. Linda Thornton says, great progress. Keep it up. Blessings. Lisa Malone says, I really like your new outside space. Thank you, Lisa. Those clotheslines are so useful. I like the idea that someone said about getting an outside storage bench to keep some of your pots and gardening supplies. In addition, if you put the pots from the kitchen cupboards in it, then you should have more room in the cupboard to store your lunch boxes. Did the hot tub area get finished? No, Lisa, I agree. That was the plan. I was going to put those pots from the kitchen cupboard, which I was pleased. I made space for them in the kitchen cupboard, but I do agree with you all. That is not their long-term home, because the kitchen cupboard needs to be for plates, mugs, cups, etc., etc., not plant pots. However, when I looked at these benches, they all have gaps and holes. And what I don't want to do is put clean items outside in an outside bench, which is then going to get full up with spiders and insects. So at the moment, I'm still looking. In terms of the hot tub area, yes, it did. I was really, really pleased. My husband's done a fantastic job grouting or tiling it all, grouting it all. Really, really nice job. And he's put away nearly all the things that he used to do it as well. So he did say the other day, I'm going to fill the hot tub up. But I said, weather-wise, we're probably not going to get much use of it now. And I did reply to Lisa, and she's replied to me. And I hadn't seen her reply. So thank you, Lisa, for taking the time to reply to me. Lisa says, did you look at the patio deck storage benches that are made to hold outside cushions and garden essentials? If they're designed to hold outside cushions, they might not let the spiders in. I saw them on Bed Bath & Beyond website. I've not seen them in person, so I don't know about holes, but I thought if they were made for cushions, maybe they're sealed tighter. Yeah, good point. Another thing I saw on some sites are boxes designed to keep delivered packages safe. If you aren't home when they are delivered, might be a place to tuck things away, but would not provide seating. I did see some with a place to put potted plants on top and make them look decorative. There has to be something. It just takes time to find the right thing. Patience. Yeah, you're right, Lisa. When I first thought I was right, I was really driven. I was off to get one. And then when I started looking, I thought, no, I'm not going to rush and buy something and then get the wrong thing. I did really want it for Guy Fawkes night, because we have loads of family members around for Guy Fawkes nights, and I thought that could work quite well because that would give an additional seating for outside. But like you said, be patient, try to look for the right thing. And I don't like wasting money. That's the thing. I do need a box to put parcels and packages in, because at the moment I'm really worried that the delivery person might, for any packages, might come round and throw a box or throw a package on top of my hedgehog that I think is now hibernating. And that would be dreadful. I'd be broken-hearted if that happens, because at the moment it just looks like a cloth thrown by the door. They wouldn't know that actually there's a hedgehog that's made a nest underneath. So I've put a piece of wood in front of it, but I need to put something like with a sign that says warning or something. So you can see here in the video, I started going over my stairs. Now, you all know that we don't wear shoes indoors. Very, very rarely would we wear shoes indoors. Very, very rarely might we wear shoes on the stairs. There have been occasions where my daughter's forgotten something and she's run upstairs with shoes on, and it's absolutely a one-off. Now, what I found interesting was the amount of kind of dirt that was coming out of this carpet, and I thought, goodness me, whatever must carpets be like when people wear their outside shoes indoors all the time? Must be really, really significant. The water must be really, really dirty. Now, on my third step, there was some sort of mark. I don't know what it was. Whether it's something has somehow been spilt on the carpet, I'm really not sure. But it looks like it's got rid of it, which I'm really pleased. The big thing that I'm concerned about, though, in old houses, and there are a lot of old houses in England, those that are solid brick, so no cavity, you must ensure that you heat and ventilate them properly. Now, we've not yet put our heating on. I laugh and say we're not putting it on until November. My husband says, middle of October, which we're not far middle of October, are we? So the thing is, because the heating's not on, I'm a little bit concerned that there's now so much damp in the house. So after I did this, I actually opened the front door and opened the back door to create a draft. And I did about 6 steps and then I stopped. So there was more that I wanted to do, but I decided that I'd only do so much and then stop. Because the amount of water that this sucks up is really, really limited. So you start with a big container of clean water, and what you get is a minuscule amount of dirty water. So that must mean that the rest of the water is still in your soft furnishings or still in your carpet. So for that reason, I will not be doing the sofa in the autumn or winter time. I will do that in the spring or summertime. So then you can have all the windows open and all the doors open to make sure there's proper ventilation. So can't quite work that out. So I'm very interested when I do my proper vax video. I'm interested in people telling me about that, because it just doesn't seem to be good to fill all your carpet with so much wet, so much water left in, and I just couldn't get it up. So next comment that I wanted to go through is from Homeschool Teens with Jenny. Now I'm guessing Jenny homeschools teens, in which case, Jenny, well done. I don't blame you. There's lots of reasons why people are starting to homeschool their children more and more. I can't remember where you're from. Are you from the United Kingdom or are you from America? So Homeschool Teens with Jenny says, my grey won't colour either, even professionally. So Jenny's talking about hair here. You can still see the shimmer of the grey underneath, especially when the light hits it. I just let it come in naturally. It's all in the front around my face. I don't have any grey in the back yet. I'm in my mid-40s. Now, thinking about the way that grey has been spelt, I'm guessing that Jenny is in America. Thank you for your comment. It's interesting how some people get a lot grey to sort of come in round their hairline at the front, but not really much in the back. Quite a few people have said, I should dye it. Quite a few people have said I should leave it. The girl who has a dream says, hi, does your husband play Blood Bowl? My husband does, and wondered if they've ever met. That'd be strange, wouldn't it? Whereabouts does your husband play Blood Bowl? The Girl Who Has a Dream. If you can let me know, and I shall ask my husband. Nan Holmes says, I finally gave up covering my greys. I just let it go wild. I love that. Wild hair. So looking back on the video, you can see some little elephants that I got given from a family member that are hanging up in my hall. Now I've got some other little elephants that someone bought me from holiday that I've put outside under my veranda. So I think I'll take these little elephants and put them in the same place with the others. Then also on the right hand side, there's a little necklace that I need to see if I can swap for my daughter because the magnetic clasp has broken. She got it for her birthday and she really, really loves it. Then I've got a miniature little sewing machine, little metal sewing machine. I've never seen anything like it before. Although I really liked it and I've put it on display, the longer I've been decluttering, the less I seem to like it. And then there's that coffee pot, which again, the longer I've been decluttering, the less I like it. So you never know. They both might find their way to the car boot sale or to the charity shop. And then I'm at the top of the stairs putting away things which have often arrived from downstairs. So we've got the sleeping bag there. I've got some cards that I sorted out for my daughter to choose for her friends for birthday. I've got some other things for the car boot sale, old school books which needed to be put into the playroom. A few other bits and pieces that just needed to find a home, and then I just wanted to hoover. I did start thinking, oh, I could use the vacs to clean it, but because of that whole thing with putting a lot of water into the house, I don't think it's a very good idea. So I'm getting really close to the end of my video now. So thank you very, very much for your support. The amount of money that we're raising for the charity is over £80. Given that as I record this, 13th of October, I think we're going to have over £100. I really do. And if people keep on watching the videos, wow, we might even have more than that. So thank you so much for your support. All the videos you're watching, old videos, you're commenting on old videos, liking, really is making a massive difference to the viewing hours. So thank you very, very much. Then you can see I'll do a bit of hoovering on the landing, and then in a minute I'm back in the kitchen finishing off after lunch. And you'll see in the kitchen that the windows have got orange tape, and my husband's used frog tape around them to painting. He completely forgot that when we used that last time, when we pulled the tape off, lots of the paint came with it. And also the paint had kind of seeped underneath the tape anyway. He'd completely forgotten. He's got a good hand for painting, so he doesn't need to use that frog tape, but I guess that made him feel sort of more confident with the edges. You don't want paint to go over onto the glass. That's a difficulty. And my kitchen has now been fairly tidy for more than a week. And that's absolutely a mix between me and my husband doing a little bit of washing up throughout the day, and every single meal we're doing the washing up, which is meaning that we're not getting any sort of backlog. I do need to constantly keep an eye on that corner though, the left hand corner, because I think that's so easy for that to build up. At the moment, that's got several pieces of paperwork and bills and things that I need to sort. And that's easy for that to kind of build and get worse. So thank you very, very much for watching my video. I hope you enjoyed today's video. Please let me know what you're up to this week and how you're getting on with jobs in your house and garden, what chores and different jobs you've got to do. And I'll look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye!